Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for our presentation today. We are going to talk about um, your next steps as an admitted student to the University of Denver. So once again, congratulations on your admission to the University of Denver or DU. Um, for today's event, we are going to start with welcome and introductions, do an overview of the University of Denver, all that we have to offer, talk about the post-admission processes and next steps, of course, talk about the DU and Denver communities, go over the F1 visa and I-20 processes, the timeline, getting your visa appointment, all of those things. Talk about student employment on campus and campus safety, and then we will leave time at the end for any questions. So, with introductions, I will go ahead and get started, and then I'll pass it on to my colleagues. So, my name is Adil Ahmed. I am an assistant director of international admission here at the University of Denver, or DU. I am joined by my colleague Suha. Suha, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Adil, for the warm welcome. My name is Suhar Baba, and my professional title is Senior Associate Director of International Admission here at DU. I oversee all aspects of international admission and international recruitment. Congratulations once again, and I look forward to talking with you more about the I-20 process, jobs, and safety, and getting some further insights from our current international student, Shreyas. And with that, I will go ahead and invite Shreyas to introduce himself.
Hello everyone, my name is Shreyas. I'm graduating in June with the DU, like almost like a 2.5 years. I completed my master. I have to complete my masters in business analytics as well as the IT project management. So welcome to all for in the DU family. DU is an amazing school. I enjoyed a lot, and all the staffs and the professors are really nice. They are helping you for your shape of your study and the careers. So welcome to the DU.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for introducing yourselves. Once again, congratulations on your admission to DU. Shreyas, can we actually go back to you just really quickly? So we
Hmm.
emphasize that DU as a community is a welcoming community.
Yeah.
Could you briefly share like why you chose DU and maybe like what's one of your favorite things about going to school
Uh,
at DU as a grad student?
As a grad student, my favorite thing to go to DU, like to attending some like a good events daily in the university. You will meet a good friends as well as the uh, do you have like a good community of every Indians every type of Indian students as well as they are celebrating Indian festival as well as other festivals. So it's really nice, and as a like a student of like a right now in next like a 2 3 week 8 9 weeks I will become alumni. But it's really good to be in a DU to set a career mindset. Because of DU, I attend so many events. Even like a last year, I attended like a business analytics event in the Houston on the support of the DU. So that's why I like to introduce the DU as a, like a broader prospect of the educational institute in the United States, and the professors as well as the um, uh, other professional workers. When you work in the on-campus job, they are very helping, and and they know like how the job works and how the student wants. Like, that's all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shreyas. Yeah, and then just once again, congratulations, everybody, on your admission to DU. We look forward to seeing you on campus this fall. So at DU, we like to sum up the academic and student life experience in what we call the 4D experience. So, one, advancing your intellectual growth. Two, helping you pursue a career and life of purpose. Three, helping promote your well-being. And four, helping you explore your character. So I hope you can see these four different dimensions throughout our presentation today. We like to start by talking about who actually attends DU. So we're a private mid-sized school. We have about 5,800 undergraduate students. And then, of course, Shreyas is one of the 6,900 graduate students pursuing master's or doctoral programs here at DU. We have about a 56 to 44% female to male student ratio with a smaller percentage of non-binary students. About 29% of our students are students of color. About 17% are first generation or the first in their families to attend college. About 10% are transfer students, so they are coming from other colleges or universities to finish their bachelor's degree here at DU. And then just over 3% of our undergraduate students are international. So they're coming from outside of the US. For graduate students, I believe it's more like 10 or 11% are going to be international students, much like Shreyas. So I'll talk a bit more about our international students on this next slide. We have our students represent over 100 different countries. So one thing I like to emphasize about DU, kind of our community, is if you're expecting to come to DU and find, 500 or 1,000 other students from your country, you probably aren't going to find that, just to be completely honest with you. However, you will find a very wide variety of countries and cultures represented among your peers at DU. I think, we do an exceptional job of representing or having that like diverse representation of so many different, identities and backgrounds and experiences and ideas. Whether you're sitting in class or you're involved in a student club or you're sitting in the dining hall or on your in your on-campus residence hall, you may find yourself meeting other students from different states around the United States and different countries around the world. And again, I think that that diversity of of where our students are coming from is definitely one of our biggest strengths. So one of the most unique things about DU is that we are on a quarter system. Unlike most universities around the US and the world, we're not on a traditional semester system where you'll normally see like two 15-week semesters in the fall and spring. At DU, you'll actually see three 10-week quarters, so in the fall, winter, and spring. There's a few reasons we do this, a few advantages. So one is that you get a 6-week winter vacation. So from the Thanksgiving holiday through New Year's, you have that entire time off of school. Of course, we know for international students, especially, that makes it a lot easier if you want to go back home and visit family or travel during that time. You do get a 1-week spring break, which we just had a couple of weeks ago between the winter and spring quarters. And then we do have an optional and additional summer quarter. Most students, to be quite honest, do not usually take classes over the summer, and you're still very easily able to graduate on time within 4 years by just taking classes during the normal fall, winter, and spring quarters. But if you would like to continue your studies over the summer, there is that option for you. And I want to talk a bit about our academics. So again, what we offer. I'm not going to go through every single excuse me, major and minor that we offer. But to give you an idea of the academic programs that we do have to offer across the 5 or 6 different schools that offer undergraduate and graduate programs. Our College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, our Daniels College of Business, our Joseph Corbell School of International Studies, our College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, our Ritchie School of Engineering and Computer Science, and then even our Lamont School of Music. So here you can see a sample degree plan. Um, excuse me, this student, for instance, is a communication major. They have Spanish and business minors, so they're a double minor. We do, for undergraduates, require a common curriculum. So we emphasize that liberal arts philosophy where we want you to be a well-rounded student and take classes outside of your normal major. And there's even room for electives. So I think the idea here is that at DU, we offer a very flexible education where you can pursue multiple disciplines. Um, we have that common curriculum and we even give you room for electives, and you can do all of this and still graduate on time within 4 years. So if you wanted to double major or do like one or two or three minors, you can absolutely do that. You don't have to choose just one thing. So, in the classroom, I think we offer a lot of really good support. One of my favorite, excuse me, facts about DU that I like to share is that 99% of classes are taught by faculty. So not by teaching assistants or other instructors, but by the professors themselves. Um, Keep in mind, we also offer graduate programs. So a lot of these professors, they're teaching master's and doctoral students, you know, in addition to the undergrad courses that they teach. Um, so uh, a lot of these professors, your professors, they have PhDs or they have graduate degrees themselves. They very much are the experts in their fields. Um, Classes are pretty small also, 24 or less. Um, 94% of classes are fewer than 50 students, and then we have a 10 to 1 student faculty ratio. So I would say at DU, um, you'll definitely find that personalized, very intimate kind of academic support in the classroom. Outside of the classroom, though, we understand that academic support is, just as important. So, right from the get-go, you are paired with an academic advisor when you enroll at DU. This is to help give you an extra set of eyes on your degree plan, on your transcript to make sure that you're taking the classes you need to take, that you're graduating on time. We have a wonderful career and professional development center, the Burwell Center, for career achievement. So if you need any help with like LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile, resume building, your CV, job interviews, anything like that, Burwell has a lot of really great resources to support you. All first year students go through Discovery's orientation. So this is your orientation week before classes begin in the fall, to help you get acclimated to, where everything is. You're aware of all the great resources that we have. We'll talk more about them in a bit on campus. And with that, we have a health and counseling center. We do offer peer mentors and student success coaching. And we'll talk more about ISSS later in the presentation, but our International Student and Scholar Services Office, they specifically offer a lot of really good support for visa and I-20 questions. So if you have any questions as an international student about your documentation, they're going to be, again, a great resource. And then a bit about our learning and success communities. So these are all great opportunities to look into if you're interested. For example, if you are a first generation college student, First at DU and One Gen U are going to be great support systems for you. You may be invited to apply to any of our like honors or leadership programs after you're initially admitted to DU. So the University Honors Program, Equity in STEM, Pioneer Leadership Program in Leadership Studies, the Colorado Women's, excuse me, the Colorado Women's College Leadership Scholars. Um, for our neurodivergent and students with learning disabilities, we do have the LEP or Learning Effectiveness Program. And then we do also offer living and learning communities. So again, a lot of really great resources. And I think one of the biggest hallmarks of a DU education is not just the in-classroom learning and education you get from like your textbook, but actually from the out-of-classroom hands-on practical experience that you gain. And I think DU does a great job of emphasizing both of those sides. So 80% of our students complete an internship. We are a Carnegie Research One or R1 university. We do have a $52 million research endowment. Um, One thing I like to tell students at all levels is that, whether you're an undergrad or grad student, Again, we're a Research One university. A lot of your professors, they're going to have, doctoral or graduate degrees themselves. A lot of that expertise, that experience trickles down to even the undergrads, and there are a lot of research opportunities. I would say, if you're interested in doing research, being a student research assistant at any point in your DU career, please don't hesitate to talk to your professors. We'll actually talk about our one part of our campus that offers some fun, unique research opportunities later on. Our students logged 1 million hours of community service last year, and we have a few maker spaces on campus. For example, in our engineering building, we have the innovation labs. So this is a whole floor of 3D printers. Again, I think that just goes to show that DU goes that extra mile of giving you the hands-on, the tools to get that hands-on practical experience in addition to what you learn in the classroom. And speaking of that practical experience, study abroad is very popular at DU. 70% of our students do go abroad at some point in their undergraduate career. We have over 100 different partner programs across 45 different countries. The Sherrington Global Scholarship is a really great benefit that helps ensure that whatever you are paying to study in Denver, Colorado on DU's campus, you'd be paying that same amount for, tuition, student fees, all of that stuff to study in another country. And it also covers your round trip airfare and visa costs as well. But before we send you abroad, we do want to, make sure that we take care of you on campus. So residence life, we do have a 2-year live-on requirement. First years and sophomores, undergrads are expected to live on campus. We do offer transfer and upper class housing. We have some affinity housing opportunities as well. So, for instance, I know there is in at least one of our dorms, like an entire floor dedicated if you're interested in gaming. And then we do have several on-campus dining options. Our main dining hall is in Community Commons. They have 6 or 7 different food stations, and they are very, accommodating and cognizant of like food allergies, dietary restrictions, things like that. So if you do have any like dietary needs like that, please don't hesitate to communicate those. We are, more than happy to help meet those. And a bit more about our residence halls. So for undergraduate students, we have 3 main residence halls on campus. Centennial Halls, DeMond Family Residential Village, and JMAC or Johnson McFarland Hall. Again, we do offer off-campus housing as well. And then there's a lot of ways to get involved on campus. We have over 100 different student organizations. There are hundreds of different performances each year. I know recently for Lunar New Year, a couple months ago, we had some celebrations on campus. Um, we have affinity groups, a cultural center. Again, our ISSS office is a great resource. They actually offer a lot of programming year-round for our international students. You can run for student government, and then there's even spiritual life at DU. A bit about our athletics and some fun traditions. So we are an NCAA Division One school. Men's ice hockey is kind of our point of pride. It is our big sport on campus. So when they have a home game, lots of students, lots of people from the DU community, and just from around Denver come and attend those games to see our hockey team play. But besides them, we have 17 other men's and women's Division One teams in the NCAA. I do like to tell students if you play a sport and you're not recruited onto one of our D1 teams, I would still encourage you to pursue athletics if that is something you're passionate about, because we do offer 30 different club sports and 20 intramural sports as well. And if sports aren't your thing, but you still like to be active, we do have a student rec center, so the Coors Fitness Center. Some fun traditions to look forward to. Homecoming weekend, parent and family programs. One of my favorite traditions actually does not even take place on campus. It takes place off campus, and I'll talk about that in a few slides. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the campus and then our area itself. So DU is, for those of you that may not know, if you have not visited our campus, it's a pretty small campus. It's, again, we're a mid-sized school. It's not that large. It's actually very easy to get around on foot or on bike. You do also get a, free public transit or RTD pass as a DU student. So you're welcome to take the bus, the light rail, or train around Denver or even out to the Denver International Airport. It's about 45 minutes away. Um, you can take the light rail directly to downtown Denver or the city center. It's about 15 minutes north of campus. And then, of course, Colorado is world famous for the Rocky Mountains. So um, it takes about an hour, just depending on traffic, to get out to the mountains. And then for those of you that may not be familiar with Denver, we are the state capital of Colorado. So Denver, Colorado, the metro area is home to about 3 million people. There are all of those big city opportunities if you're looking, to get away for a day or for a weekend from campus to go enjoy like professional sports, concerts, live music, art galleries, museums, plenty of incredible restaurants to try, parks. You can expect excellent weather year round. So we do typically get about over 300 days of sunshine each year. In the Denver area, you will experience all four seasons. So you can see some of our average highs and lows each season. Um, and yeah, just again to emphasize, Colorado is world famous for um, a lot of different things, but I think especially those getting outdoors and unplugging from your everyday work and studies. It's nice to to connect with nature and get outside. If you've never been hiking or skiing before, this is definitely a great place to try those things. Shreyas, can you actually just briefly share like do you ever get out like outside of campus? What are some of your favorite things to do in Denver or just around Colorado?
For me, like searching the different restaurants across the city, as well as to go to the mountains for the hiking and skiing. Recently, I visited the Breckenridge for the skiing activity with my friends. So there are so many things around the Denver as well as the Colorado. So you enjoy as well as the Red Rocks Mountain. So Red Rocks Mountain, it's really good to see the concert there. So it's really Denver is really like a fast and vibe city across the United States. So you will enjoy everything, and it's like right now summer days is going on, so it's an excellent weather, and you should enjoy with your family, like outside dining or something. Which whatever you want, you should enjoy with your friends and family, and it's amazing experience for me to working with the DU as well as the as a student of the DU.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Trace. So yeah, as you can see, there is plenty to do both on and off campus. And one of my favorite traditions on campus, or I should say off campus, takes place at our James C. Kennedy Mountain campus. So the mountain campus opened just a few years ago. It is relatively new. It's located about 2 hours northwest of DU in our main campus in Denver. So it's over 700 acres of forested hills. There is plenty to do. They do have lodging and dining, but if you want to go like camping or rock climbing, try Via Ferrata, horseback riding, um, hiking, of course, fishing. There's plenty to do. And I hinted at research opportunities. So there are some professors that have ongoing field research up in the mountain campus, especially for those students in maybe some of the more like STEM fields like ecology or geology. You may have the opportunity to come up with your professor and do some excellent research up here. Um, there are no classes being held here currently, but I think there are some plans to maybe change that in the future, which would be really exciting. And then one of our coolest traditions, I think, is first descent. So your first weekend, your fall quarter, you're invited to come up to the mountain campus and spend that weekend with excuse me, with other first year students, and it's just a fun, casual way to get to know other first years in a different setting away from campus and enjoy, the outdoor scene in Colorado. So that's a bit about, DU and our campus and what we have to offer. I will hand it now over to Suha to kind of go over your next steps as an admitted student. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Adil, for the wonderful overview of DU. So now you all have a better idea of why DU is a wonderful place to call home for the 4 years. Now, how to actually get here to DU. So the deadline for submitting your enrollment and tuition deposit is coming up in a couple of weeks. The deadline is May 1st, so please pay attention to submitting again your enrollment deposit by May 1st. If you have any issues in terms of submitting the deposit within your admission portal, please reach out to us as soon as possible. You're welcome to call us directly. You can find our contact information at the final slide of this presentation. You can also email us at intladm@du.edu so we can help you as soon as possible. You would also need to submit all your I-20 documents before July 1st. I would like to point out a quick reminder here, though, that we can issue your I-20 even before you submit your enrollment deposit. We understand the I-20 process can be a lengthy process, so the sooner you provide us with the documents, I'll talk more about the documents for your I-20 in the next slides, but the better. So we can ensure that you have your I-20 in time to book a visa appointment at your US consulate or embassy in your home country. Then we are all about creating community even before you come to campus. Zimi is a great platform where you can connect with current students like Shreyas, for instance, or our undergraduate global ambassadors, in addition to your classmates who will start with you during the fall quarter. Then it's important to note that as a first year student, there is, as Adil mentioned, there is a 2 year live-on requirement on campus. So for our first year and transfer students, the housing application has already opened since this past December, so December 2024. And the deadline to submit your housing application is June 20th. Your housing assignments will be available on July 29th. So again, the earlier, the better. You would just need to log into your housing application, follow the prompts for the correct academic year and your academic level, and it's a pretty straightforward process. We also understand that the payment options or the payment plan is something that is important to our students, and we want to simplify this process as much as possible. We do offer options for students to pay their tuition through installments or a payment plan. You would need to connect with your the bursar's office. More information will be available on that via email. And of course, we will need your final transcripts if you have not submitted those transcripts during your application. We understand that some curriculums, such as the International Baccalaureate and the advanced level classes or results, are out later. So please reach out to our office and just let us know so we're aware that we can put a note on your record, and you're welcome to provide us with those results once they're available. For the IB, they're usually available sometime in July, and for the final A-level results, they're usually available in August. So if you have your A-level certificate, you can just bring that to our office and we can make a certified copy and return your A-level certificate, or you can submit your A-level results through the A-level portal. So if you're doing the Cambridge results, so you can submit a copy of those results to DU, or you can submit a statement of results before we get your final certificate that is available later again, in October or November. Next slide, please. So now, as an international student, you've heard the term I-20 in my previous slide or the slide before. So what is an I-20? The I-20 for international students is a form of eligibility for your non-immigrant status to study full-time in the United States. This is issued through the Department of Homeland Security. So basically, it's a federal document, a federal official document. So our office, the International Student and Scholar Services Office, or ISSS, are the ones who issue the I-20 specifically. The undergraduate office collects all the documents that are necessary for you to for us to create that I-20. So basically, the I-20 does certify that you have all the correct information in terms of what you want to study, the finances, your English language proficiency, and the campus you want to study on while attending or studying in the US. And as I mentioned earlier, and we will go through a sample I-20 form to look at how it looks like and the information it includes. But an overview of this information, again, would include your CVIS ID, personal information, program of study, financial information, for instance, a list of scholarships, if you're an athlete, your athletic scholarship, in addition to the school details, such as the DU school code and other identifying information. So who needs an I-20? All international students studying outside of the US and some students studying or some students in the United States would require an I-20. For the main part, any student who is, again, studying abroad and does not have US citizenship will be required to get an I-20 so they can ultimately get an F1 visa. And this is really important because the I-20 will enable you, it's a visa enabling document. So when you get the I-20, this enables you to book an appointment for your US, for your visa appointment at the US Embassy or consulate in your home country. And it also permits you to enter the United States. So you would need two main documents to enter the United States if you are on an I-20 or need an F1 visa. So basically your I-20 form in addition to your F1 visa. And again, this form is important to maintain your immigration status in the United States. This question we get quite a bit is if all international students do need an I-20. The answer is yes and no. It really depends on your specific situation. So if you want to study, if you're an international student, again, who does not have citizenship with the United States or is not a permanent resident of the United States, then you would need an I-20. There are exceptions, of course, for some other visa types that I will talk about in a bit, but any student who will study full-time in the United States who again does not have citizenship with the US or a PR or permanent residency, that means you will need an I-20 or an F1 visa. And if you're unsure if you do not need an I-20 or need an I-20, especially if you're currently in the US on a different type of visa, such as the H visa, L visa, O visa, and E visa, as an example, then you would need to just reach out to us or our International Student and Scholar Services team, and we will be able to guide you throughout the process. A lot of our students on H, L, or E and A visas actually can study full-time until the age of 21 or before they reach the specific limit before they age out, and then they would need an F1 visa. So if you would like to go ahead and change your status from that specific visa, like an A visa to an F1 visa, please let us know and we can connect you to our International Student and Scholar Services office to walk you through the process and give you the best practice in what to do pertaining to your current immigration status here in the US and if you need to obtain an F1 or not. So do all students need an F1 visa? The answer is no. So students from both Canada and Bermuda or have any citizenship from Canada and Bermuda do not need an F1 visa stamp to enter the United States. However, they would need an I-20 form. They cannot enter the United States without an I-20 form in this case. So for instance, if you are, since this presentation is customized and tailored for our students who've been admitted from India, so some students have a dual citizenship. So if you have dual citizenship from Canada or Bermuda, in this case, you would not need an F1 visa, but you would need an I-20 so you can enter the United States. And now, what are the documents that we need so we can create your I-20? First and foremost, you would need to be able to access your admission portal. So all this information is available through your admission portal. There will be a detailed checklist in asking you for the documents that you would need to provide us. So you would need a valid copy of your biographical page of your passport. We can issue an I-20 off of an expired passport, but you need to pay attention and be cognizant that when you go to your visa appointment, you would need to have your valid passport. So you would need to take your expired passport, if we use that to issue your I-20, in addition to your newly issued passport to the visa appointment. The visa officer in the U.S. Embassy and consulate cannot stamp an expired or invalid passport. So please keep that in mind in the interest of time, since the process may take some time to get your visa. You would also need to provide us with a bank statement that is issued within the past 6 months, in addition to a financial verification form. This form is also available through your portal. It's a one-page form that you can provide us with your personal details, in addition to who the sponsor is in terms of your bank documents. So if your family member will be sponsoring you during your time at DU, if your government will be sponsoring you during your time at DU, we will need all that information. Also, if you're a student who is currently studying in the United States and will be transferring either from a high school or from another institution as a transfer student, we will need something called a CVIS transfer in form. This form mainly indicates that you are currently studying in the US on an F1 visa or a J1 visa. Your institution would need to complete all the details so they can transfer out your CVIS record to the University of Denver. Once the University of Denver receives this specific form, then we will go ahead and issue your I-20, provided we have all the information that I just talked about, like your copy of your passport and bank statement and the financial verification form. The bank statement is a very interesting, I would say, document, because the amount that needs to be shown on that specific bank statement does differ from one student to another. So the general cost of attendance for DU for 2025 and to 2026 is around $89,000. So around 99% of our admitted students do receive a form of merit scholarship. So in this case, you would need to just subtract the merit scholarship or the total of scholarships that you've received from DU, and then you would need to show the remaining amount as the amount required for your bank document. I know this is a lot of math information, but do not fret. We've already done that on your behalf. So you will get an email with all the details pertaining to the amount that you would need to show on that bank document specifically. We also need the bank document to be in English or accompanied by a certified English translation. We understand that not all international banks provide you with an English copy, so we completely respect that. However, you would need to get that translated. The currency can be in your home country's currency or any other currency. We have a process where we can convert the currency and make sure that everything looks good on our end. So it's not necessarily to have the currency listed in US dollars in this case. So this is an overview of how a Form I-20 would look like. So again, as I mentioned earlier, this document is an official federal document issued by the Department of Homeland Security. The first portion is a very important, the first line, excuse me, is a very important piece of information. This is a CVIS ID. The CVIS ID usually starts with an N0 and a series of numeric numbers that you will need to provide or plug into the visa appointment portal so you are able to book and secure your visa appointment. And again, here, this will show your personal details and the class of admission, which is the F1 visa here. And again, this is for full-time academic and language study at DU or elsewhere in the United States in general. So the second box here, we would have the school information. So the University of Denver, the address of the school and the office where the I-20 was issued. We also have something called a school code and approval date. So our institution was approved in CVIS in 2003. And the school code, this is really important for our CVIS transfer in form because your current school that you're studying at would require that you need your current CVIS or school code, excuse me. So you will need to provide that information. If you're unable to provide that information, please reach out to our office. This information is also listed on our website. Then we have the program of study here. So your education level, bachelor's degree since you're an undergraduate student, the English language proficiency requirement. All students studying at the U at the undergraduate level should be proficient. So if you do not have a proficient score, you would not be admitted in the first place. So that's something to be cognizant of. And then the start of classes in addition to the end of your program date in general. And here it says also earliest admission date. So you can be admitted to the US or you can enter the US up to 30 days before the start of classes. And then we have some information about your financials, if you're on an athletic scholarship or received merit, or if your family is also providing any help in that area. And then there are some remarks here if the designated school official will have any remarks to add. And then the school attestation. So personal, basically this is the area where the designated school official just attests that they have created this document for you and all the information to their knowledge is accurate and up to date. And then toward the end, this box here will require a signature in addition to the date. And if you are younger than 18 years old, then you would need to have this signed by a guardian or a parent as well. So now you've got your I-20, and there's another also step to the process, which is paying your I-901 CVIS fee. So this fee enables you to book or show intent that you want to book an appointment at the U.S. Embassy or consulate in your home country. After you pay the fee, you will get a receipt or a confirmation receipt, and that prompts you to apply for the F1 visa and book an appointment or visa appointment at the U.S. Embassy or consulate in your home country. I highly recommend looking at the Department of State website for visa times. It is dependent per city and visa category. We also provide that information to you in the plethora of our emails that also address how you can apply for an I-20. Then you would need to go ahead and prepare for your visa interview. You would need to go ahead and print out all the necessary documents and take them with you to your visa interview. Phones or any digital copies are not allowed to the interview, so make sure you bring ample copies of your admission letter. So make 2 copies of your admission letter, your financial documents that you provided to the office, a copy of your passport, the financial verification form, anything that could help with the visa interview would be highly advised to accompany with you in that interview. We will also send out an email with details and tips in terms of what to take with you to the visa interview and just a sample of questions of what the visa officer may ask you over there during the visa interview. Usually, on average, the visa interview is not that long. It takes between 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes longer as needed. And then, if approved, the visa officer will let you know that you have been approved for the visa. And at this time, you will need to surrender your passport so they can issue and stamp the F1 visa on your passport and mail it back to you. However, there are times, unfortunately, that visas do get denied, whether for the lack of visa information or the lack of intent to return back to your home country. So make sure that you're able to understand why the reason of denial was provided, and then you can go ahead and rebook another appointment as soon as possible. Please keep our admission team, international admission team, updated as soon as possible so we can also give some our recommendations if your visa gets denied. And this is a sample of our F1 visa. As you can see, it tells all the information that the you've provided on your I-20, and here it tells you the visa type, the expiration date, the CVIS number that I mentioned earlier, and all the other identifying information, in addition to the machine readable name that is listed on your passport, basically. And I would like to invite Shreyas to talk a little bit about his experience with getting an I-20 from the EU, in addition to his experience with getting the visa at his US embassy or consulate in India.
For me, getting I-20 from the DU, it's almost like a 1 week process because it will take time sometimes. Like if you're providing documents in US dollars in the rupees, so I converted with the bank to do the US dollar thing. So I applied to get a I-20 very quickly because I have like a quick date of like almost like a 15 days after that I have to go to the visa appointment. And for me, it's very crystal and clear visa appointment. They just ask me like which university are you going, what's your plan after graduating, which major you have to do in the United States, and what's your future plans. I told like I'm just going to the University of Denver to do my first University of Denver. They gives me like an MBA admission, so I just told like I'm going for the MBA, and university gives me almost like a $20,000 scholarship. So that's why they impressed me, and then after that they approved my visa within like a 2 minutes. Yeah, in India, in Mumbai, in two minutes. And after that, I got my visa within like a 1 day. So that's why it's very simple and quick and crystal clear process. You are very sure about what you are doing after that. And after that, I changed my major after get my visa when I come to the US. So after that, after getting visa, you will talk with the admission authority, and they will give you explanation, and they will change you major within like 1 or 2 days. It's like a good opportunity for the international student. After that, you after getting your visa, you should change your major. It's really nice, but it's very crystal clear process. You should be very firm and in the visa interview, and they are asking not that kind of question. They are asking only about the why you are going to the US for uh, which study, and you are very prepared about that. That's all.
Thank you so much, Shreyas, for sharing that positive experience. I'm really glad to hear the tips you provided to our students, and I'm happy to hear that it was smooth sailing. So that's really important. It can be a stressful process, but I'm happy that you shared your just experience with the overall visa and I-20 process. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Next slide, please. So other important components. So now you got your I-20, you got your visa, congratulations. There are more factors to consider as an international student. I know safety and working on campus are two important things that come to mind, especially to a student that is maybe traveling to the US for the first time or leaving their country for the first time. So I want to reiterate that DU does prioritize campus safety and security. And that is showcased through just emphasizing the importance of keeping our faculty, our students, and our staff safe and providing a safe environment. This is personified through having a dedicated Department of Campus Security, or something that is called a DCS. This is a specific area or department that is focused solely on security for the DU campus. We also have a 24/7 security availability. Again, that means round the clock security services. We also provide crime prevention programs and initiatives to prevent criminal activities on campus. We also have an emergency notification system through DU Alerts. So once you have your US number, please make sure to sign up for the DU Alerts. This is a system to notify students, staff, and faculty regarding anything that goes awry on campus, whether it's weather, any, again, criminal activities, anything that will make sure and ensure that you are protected and safe and also aware. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the DU's top priority is creating a secure environment to the entire DU community, and not only for staff and administrators and faculty, but of course our students, as they are our prime responsibility on campus. Shreyas, would you like to share your opinions about safety on campus in general and your experience with this?
For me, as an international student, we stay off campus. So DU security alerts give you that opportunity, they are giving you such alerts. So if you are if you are inside the Colorado or outside the Colorado or whichever states, so you will get alerts very quickly. And suppose anything happen nearby to the university area, so you should be safe on the university different buildings on the campuses. So that's why you are 24/7. You are secured with the DU campus safety. So it's really amazing services by DU to the all the students, to all the as well as all the students as well as the international students. It's and the campus safety people, they are very helpful to gives you the safety, and they are giving you some guidance like how should prevent all these things. So it's really nice.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Shreyas. And of course, safety is a top priority for us. And I'm glad to hear your experiences or positive experiences with just maintaining and keeping safe on the DU campus. Next slide, please. So, also working, that is a big question. Employment. Do students or international students qualify for employment overall? The short answer is yes. As an international student, you're qualified by federal law to work up to 20 hours per week during the academic year. So that's quite a substantial number of hours, and you can work up to 40 hours during holidays and in the summer if you are enrolled and also dependent on other factors. So a lot of students may get overwhelmed for looking a job when they arrive to Denver. So our recommendation is to do the process or the job search process during the summer and before you arrive to campus. This will make the process much more easier for you. We have a wonderful system called the Pioneer Careers Online or PCO system that offers a plethora of opportunities for our international students and students in general on campus. Our office specifically, Adil and we post our jobs during the summer so we can hire our students, whether international or domestic students, during the summer. So when they arrive to campus, they can rest assured that they have a job just outlined for them and ready for them, and they can hit the road running basically when they arrive. So our recommendation is to make sure to look for the job during the summer. And again, you're able, if you are traveling or busy during the summer, you will have opportunities through career fairs on campus. They usually take place in September, but you may be overwhelmed by, again, arriving to a new country, a new culture, just trying to acclimate to all the new things around your environment. So our recommendation is to do your job search during the summer. And again, as I mentioned earlier, or Adil mentioned earlier, that Shreyas is a graduate student, so he also has the opportunity of being a graduate assistant and also volunteering for our office as a global ambassador. But I would like to hear from you, Shreyas, about your experience in applying to a job on campus. Can you walk us through the process and your recommendations and advice for our students as well?
For me, like a last 2.5 years, I work almost like a 9 on-campus job, including the day's job as well as the volunteer job, as well as the some paid job, as well as the teaching assistants, as well as the grader, and so many jobs. So, to getting a job in university, it helps you to earn something from the as a point of international student perspective, and it will gives you the live demonstration how the US work culture works. So you will enjoy that all these things in the university, and it's really good. Universities focusing on the international student, they are giving good wages to the international student. It's really nice. And working with the university, they have like amazing amazing supervisor I have within the like a last 2.5 years, as well as the my professor. As I working with the professor, they are helping a lot to get a to give you the good opportunity with side by side, as well as they are helping you to get a good off-campus job, like a full-time job, as well as the internship. So it's really amazing opportunity to work with the university. And I give you advice, when you come to the university, apply the PCO job, as well as when you um, when you landed in the university, you should talk with each and every student, as well as the domestic as well as the international students. Means you will get idea what have to do the next, and you get a referral from the students. Because when I land in university, I met a one friend. He gave me referral to work in the Mortgage School of Education as a day job. So you knew, so some students are giving referral to work with you in the on-campus job, and it's really nice. So you get a referral as well as the PCO, as well as you should talk with your advisor, academic advisor, as well as the international advisor. So they will help you to guide you which application you have to work on, and specifically. Like a main important, you should talk with the Burwell Center, so they will give you the guidance to how to make resume on the on-campus job. You can directly go to job like within without any resume or something. So they will help you and they will guide you to how to make resume and cover letter, because some professors as well as some departments want cover letter from you, like are you really expected to do this kind of things with us, or they really want like a good kind of person. So that's why resume and the cover letter is very important to get an on-campus job. And if you are working as a TA or as a grader, so sometime professor wants to do the exam, like, and if you get like a 90% and above in that exam, so you will be qualified as a TA or grader in the university. So it's amazing thing for the international student as well as the Indian students. You will earn a more, and because of you are earning good amount, so you will pay the rent. So it's really amazing opportunity from the DU to the international students.
Thank you, Shreyas, for shedding light on that and for offering a plethora of wonderful pieces of advice, such as connecting with your advisor, the Burwell Career Center, and PCO again. So I appreciate your insight on that. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you also talked about internships, which I will talk about in a bit as well. So thank you again. So now you are prepared. You got that job. You got your visa. You got your I-20. You're about to arrive to campus. You are going to be welcomed in Denver, Colorado. So I would love to talk and to you more about what to expect in just thriving in this new environment. Next slide, please. So you will experience something called culture shock, even if you are unaware of the term. So what on earth is a culture shock? If, in short, if I would like to define that, it is a roller coaster of emotions, basically. It's a combination of emotions from happiness, excitement, sad, fear, longing. So all combined in one, and you will go through the different phases. So the first phase of this culture shock process would be the honeymoon phase. You're excited, you're happy you're here, everything is new and shiny, and you want to learn more about it. So please enjoy this phase. It will not last forever. So again, just embrace it and take it all in every single moment and be in the present. Because later on, you will go through the motions of the second step of culture is a cultural crisis. The newness of the situation will start wearing off. And then, here in this case, you will go into the comparison mode. You will look at the differences. The differences are highlighted. This is how I do things in my home country, and this is how things are done here. And it appears you're unable to bridge the gap. So, here, you're in this phase, my recommendation is to try to observe and learn, and most importantly, to give yourself some grace. You're here, you may have left your country for the first time. You may travel the world and still experience culture shock. So again, just observe this and be patient with yourself. Then the third phase, I would say, is hitting a low point. In this phase, you would experience uh, feelings of sadness, feelings of loneliness and homesickness. You miss your friends back home. You miss your food, the things you're accustomed to, your just the places you usually go to, etc. My recommendation for how to cope in this phase is to find your community. Look for people who share the same, just the same set of experiences or that shared experience or communal experience. You can go ahead and also cook a meal that reminds you of your home culture. Connect with your friends back home, connect with your family back home. It's all good to keep that connection. You do not need to cut those connections when you're traveling to a new country. And again, we have a wonderful support system here. Our International Students and Services Office would go through and help you with the programming initiatives to acclimate to this new culture, in addition to finding community through the wonderful organizations and affinity groups that Adil mentioned earlier in the presentation. Then later on, things would start to look better. You would start to accept that this is a new culture. Differences are vital and are necessary for growth. So in this case, you become much more curious and you would have a much more positive attitude and try to recognize the good traits in the new culture. So not necessarily just point out all the negatives because and the differences. Different does not equal something negative. It's a new experience. So again, just let that soak in and wash over you. And again, just how to cope with that. Enjoy and appreciate it, and just enjoy this time because 4 years will pass by in an instant, and then you will look back and say that this time in the US at DU have shaped me to who I am today. Then you may visit or your home country, or when you go back to your home country, you will have a reverse culture shock or re-entry culture shock. That means everything that used to be familiar to you will look foreign to you. So similar to when you first came to the US. So that will be applicable to when you go back to visit your home country or go back and again live in your home country. So again, be gracious with yourself, realize and accept that this is a new transition and things will look up again and just wear that lens of curiosity, positivity, and embracing change in general. And I would like to invite Shreyas to briefly talk about his experience with culture shock when arriving to the US and Denver specifically.
For me, arriving in the US is a culture shock because I'm from the Mumbai. I meet so many international as well as the domestic student. The domestic student, like citizens, as citizen student, like they are coming from the different states of the US, as well as the international students, different uh, people from the different countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Libya, Iran, Iraq, and the Russia, as well as the nearby states, nearby countries like Mexico, as well as the Canada. So for me, it's really good to know, like when I talk with them, it's really amazing because we will sharing like even in my classes, so there are so many people there from the Africa, so we are sharing so many similar kind of food or something like a similar kind of nature we have. So it's really amazing to know the different kind of students in the United States, and you are sharing your culture as well as they are. So and in the DU you will find different kind of groups and the clubs across the DU, like ASA, like Asian Student Association, SASA, South Asian Student Association. It includes India and the other Indian subcontinental countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal, Nepali student, and everything. So you will enjoy that. So sometimes you forget your friends from India and you talk with like so many students. It's really good experience to be like a global citizen in the University of Denver. And uh, and so many times our professors as well as the our supervisors, when you are working with on campus, they are like they are like a they gives you the stage to talk with everybody, so you are very familiarized with everybody in the campus, and it's really nice to be have like a good friends with every type of country and every type of states in India also. You will find, like, suppose I am from the Mumbai, so I find so many South Indians. They are from the Hyderabad, Chennai, Telangana, as well as I find so many my good friends from the Gujarat state, as well as the people from Delhi, as well as the Uttar Pradesh and the Punjab. It's really nice to have with so many people around the campus, and you are enjoying your quarter as well as day daily to get a to learn a new things. It's amazing to be like a to be a global citizen in the specifically in the DU. And my experience is like I really miss the school after like after like 8 weeks after graduation. So the DU gives me a good platform to be like a good student as well as a good citizen in my future. I really thanks to DU.
Thank you for sharing, Shreyas. I really appreciated how you phrased that specifically, looking at the positive of the situation and framing it from a global citizen perspective. That is really telling about the DU community and the surrounding environment and supportive environment of DU. So thank you again. Next slide, please. So, Shreyas did go over some of these wonderful tips in dealing with culture shock. And as I mentioned in my previous slide, just accept that you will be homesick. Once you make that realization, it's easier to manage expectations in general by being self-aware that this is a normal process of acclimating to a new country, a new environment with a new group of friends and acquaintances. It does take time to adjust. So give yourself some grace, excuse me, and then allow the positive to find its way to you and always seek out the positive, especially within the reframing of the new environment and situation you're in. Also, keep an open mind. As you heard from Shreyas, he did approach the situation in coming to DU with an explorer's eyes. He wanted to just appreciate the entirety of the situation and making the best of it. So thank you again for sharing. And most importantly, as Shreyas mentioned, finding community, finding the people that will make you feel home, feeling accepted, and just feeling happy to be surrounded by those positive and supportive people. And also find ways to relieve stress. We have a plethora of opportunities, whether on campus, whether it's to move your body, exercise, go to events in Denver on campus or beyond, or just have a little party or just gather some friends over a good meal. It's always good to find community and talk to people and introduce them to meals from your home country and vice versa. Next slide, please. These are the next steps for our deposited students. We will send you an email with all this information. So as a reminder, make sure to check your DU email and also your regular email to the one you used to apply to DU for. So again, we will detail you about the process itself. And again, some important items to highlight is that our International Student and Scholar Services will also do a pre-orientation or pre-arrival Zoom session that will take about 2 hours during the summer. So keep a lookout for that. It will also help you for your arrival to DU and the next steps to ensure that your arrival to DU is seamless and hassle-free. Next slide, please. Now we go into the mentality that accepting your admission offer is the start of your journey. Starting at DU is the start of your journey. We also look at the future. We're looking at the outcomes beyond graduation and earning your major as the crowning or penultimate moment of just your achievements here at DU. Shreyas mentioned that there are internship opportunities. So we always keep in mind the outcomes. So these are really cool statistics to just emphasize how we look at the importance of preparing the students for the real world after graduation. So 94% of our students do take part in a form of career and professional development on campus or off of campus. Through it, that is reflected through jobs on campus or internships and so on and so forth. Around 89% of our graduates are employed within 6 months of graduation, and also some of them seek postgraduate studies, such as completing their master's program and then going on to their PhD or doctoral program. We're also highly ranked at number 23 nationwide in the best career services offered, and this is ranked by the prestigious Princeton Review for 2023. And Trace, if you can share briefly about any internships you have lined up or any experiences regarding your outcomes after graduation.
For me, like I'm still searching jobs, and PCO as well as the Burwell Career Center helps me for making my resume as well as the cover letter. I work internship for like a 3 months in the Jeffco authority. It's like a Jeffco County, and as a like a IT project manager intern. So it's really amazing. And so for this thing, DU Burwell Center helps me for my resume, as well as they take my mock interviews to get a job, and they helps me a lot. So thanks to DU, and still I'm searching the jobs, and I'm graduating in within 8 weeks, like in June. So I'm still searching jobs. So as an international student, I applied for my OPT. Like after you graduate, you have to apply for the post completion OPT. So I'm on the OPT period. So I have only like a 5 months to get a good job. So I'm trying a lot to get a base job, and University of Denver, specifically Burwell Center, my career advisor, they are helping me out for making a good resume as well as the cover letter, and they are always taking my mock interviews for my full time as well as the internship thing. So it's really good thing you are in DU, and you are in a good hands in the University of Denver. It's amazing experience for me until the date. Right now I'm still waiting for my good opportunity as a future business analyst or program project or product manager after graduating from the DU.
Thank you, Shreyas, for shedding light on that. And as a reminder to our international students, your federal status or F1 status does allow you for something called OPT or optional practical training. That means that you can get a job after graduation. You would need to go through an application process that is stewarded by our international student and scholar services. So they can help you submit that application to OPT to get a paid internship or a temporary job so that can reinforce what you learned in your major and reflect it through a job or internship in the real world. Next slide, please. And this is an overview of our impactful alumni, of some of the wonderful people who attended and graduated from DU. So this is a picture of Condoleezza Rice, and she is a former United States Secretary of State. And then we also have Carol Toomey, the CEO of UPS, Ahmed bin Said Al Maktoum, the CEO and chairman of Emirates Airline, to name a few. So this is a plethora of the wonderful and brilliant minds who came out of DU here. And again, this is a pretty cool slide to quantify how much DU is, or how DU is projected within the eyes of our students. As you've heard from Shreyas, you can hear the excitement and how much he loves being at DU. And this does not come out of a void. As you can see here, DU was voted #1 according to the Princeton Review as the campus where students love their university. We all take pride in this statistic here because we do preach what we say basically. So we really appreciate it. And now we want to you want to ask Shreyas one last question. So Shreyas, I would like to get your recommendation of a piece of advice you would offer our current admitted students.
Uh, for my piece of advice, if you come to the DU, you get like so many uh, good friends as well as the career advisors, career advisor as well as the academic advisor as well as the international advisor. They are giving you so much kind of advice, so you are in safe hands and you are enjoying the student life as a student in the DU, whichever like a undergrad student or grad student, but you enjoyed a lot. And if you want to join with the Adil and the Suha as like a undergrad students as a global ambassador as well as the other jobs they have. They are like a plethora of jobs they have. So you should join and you should enjoy with them as a international student to work with the undergrad student office, and you will get so many experiences within 4 or 2.5 years uh, as an graduate as well as the undergrad students. You will enjoy that. So you like the DU as an international student to be like a global citizen, because you will find so many different kind of student in the DU campus. So you will be the next global citizen in the US.
Awesome. Thank you, Shreyas. So yeah, we want you to be BU at DU, and thank you so much again for um, joining us today to learn more about the University of Denver. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We have a lot of wonderful offices that you can reach out for more information. Suha and I work in the undergraduate admission office. We work specifically with international students. So feel free to email us at intladm@du.edu. But again, thank you for joining us and congratulations once again on your admission to DU. We look forward to seeing you on campus this fall.
Thank you, everyone, and congratulations again. And thank you, Shreyas, for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Goodbye,
thank you.
everyone. Take
Thank you,
care.
sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.